incredible and very exciting for me personally, and I know it is very exciting for all Miltonians. First and foremost, I want to thank our Premier for taking the time and coming out to Milton and being with us for this important announcement, along with Minister Clark, Minister Romano, and of course we have the two presidents, President McClatchy from Laurier, President Tibbet from Conestoga, and also Jamie Schlegel from Schlegel Village. So without further ado, I will come back. I will have more to say, I can assure you, but I want to invite the Premier to come up and say a few words first, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Parm, and good morning, everyone. I want to thank Dr. McClatchy and Dr. Tibbets and Mayor Krantz, longest serving mayor in the country. Mayor, you're an absolute champion, and the work you've done here in Milton is amazing. For being here today as we announce the start of work on the Milton Education Village, a project that includes new campuses for Conestoga College and Wilfrid Laurier University. Full disclosure, my girls went to both, so I'm proud that they went there. Great schools. That will create much needed accommodations for 6,700 students, so they can focus on studying programs in high demand fields such as science, healthcare, engineering, technology, and business. All areas align with the hiring needs of this region, which made it vital that we proceed with no delay. This was made possible because of our government's use of the MZOs. I keep talking about these MZOs. Here's another great example, like we did with long-term care yesterday, and again, here's another great announcement for education and long-term care, the MZO to accelerate planning and development. We use this important tool in close consultation with municipalities to get on with building critical projects, just like this one. Not only does this expansion give more options for students, it includes the Schlegel Villages, and Mr. and Mrs. Schlegel's here, and thank you for everything you're doing. Long-term care home, which helps our government deliver on its promise of 30,000 much-needed long-term care spaces. When the new Schlegel Villages open in late 2023, it will provide 192 new, modern, safe, comfortable long-term care spaces in Milton. I want to recognize our incredible partners at Conestoga College and Wilfrid Laurier University for working together to self-fund campus expansions. It shows the true Ontario spirit is live and on full display in Milton. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll hand it over to Minister Romano.
Well, excuse me, good morning, and thank you very much, Premier. I'm so excited to be here to join you, Premier Ford, and President John Tibbets, President Deborah McClatchy, Minister Clark and MPP Gill, Mayor Krantz, and other distinguished guests to make a very important announcement about the future of post-secondary education right here in Halton Region. It is a great day for the people of Milton, and as the Premier just mentioned, we are proud to announce that Wilfrid Laurier University and Conestoga College are officially opening campuses right here in Milton. Set to open their campus in 2024, these two world-class post-secondary institutions are going to be able to provide thousands of Ontarians with the skills and the training that they are going to need. I want to recognize the work of my colleague and the Member of Provincial Parliament for Milton, Mr. Parm Gill. MPP Gill has never wavered in his advocacy for bringing post-secondary education to Milton, and I cannot stress enough how it has been his tenacity that has made this possible. Parm, I don't know if I'm going to get as many phone calls from you in the future as I have in the past, but I'm really happy that we were able to work together on this, and you've done an amazing job. I also want to thank my good friend, Parliamentary Assistant David Piccini. I asked David to take on this file with respect to major capacity expansion, and he has been working so closely with institutions and partners to build a framework for expansion for the province of Ontario. And it's the framework that has been created that has made a clear pathway for institutions to create campuses like the one that's just been announced here today. Today's announcement is the second campus that has been announced on the basis of the framework that David helped to create. Three fundamental pillars to this framework. The first is community involvement. This is ensuring that programs and services that the college and the university offer leverage existing community services, and build meaningful partnerships within the community. The second is labor market needs, and it's about ensuring that future graduates get the right skills for their community, for the jobs within their community and region. And the last pillar is the funding model. And as a recognition of the fiscal position we find ourselves in this province, this pillar ensures that new campus expansions receive operating expenses only to reduce costs to taxpayers. For the campus here in Laurier and Conestoga, they have worked together with community partners to fund the capital elements of this project. So in closing, again, I want to thank MPP Gill, the great member of Provincial Parliament for Milton. His steadfast advocacy for his community has ensured that college and university educations are officially coming to the town of Milton, to the city of Milton. I'd like to congratulate Conestoga College and Wilfrid Laurier, the university, for the collaborative approach that they have taken to expand their respective campuses into a new hub that is going to provide greater post-secondary education opportunities to the people in Halton Region. I want to thank the town of Milton and Halton Region for their support in helping Conestoga College and Wilfrid Laurier University make this new Milton campus expansion a reality. I now want to pass it over to Minister Clark, who has been fundamental in being able to make today as well. It's my good friend, Minister Steve Clark. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Minister Romano. Good morning, everyone. Today's announcement is a testament to the incredible leadership of Premier Ford and my colleague and good friend, Parm Gill, who works side by side with me at the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. There is no doubt that Milton Village is going to serve the community in tremendous ways for generations. The incredible partnerships and collaborations across our government and with many stakeholders cannot be overstated. It was an honor for me to issue the Minister's zoning order that is getting the shovels in the ground on this project. The use of an MZO today is a perfect example of how we are using innovative tools and expediting the delivery of critical services for communities across Ontario. 2 new post-secondary campuses, a new long-term care home, and space for a hospice will fundamentally improve life for the people of Milton for generations. I want to end by thanking Premier Ford for his leadership and PA Gill for their dedication and incredible work to champion this project and deliver for the amazing people of Milton. And I, like Minister Romano, I think are going to get a lot less calls from MPP Parm Gill because of this announcement today. And I now want to call on him, my parliamentary assistant, my good friend, Parm Gill, the MPP for Milton, to talk about this incredible project that he's been the champion for. PA Gill.
Thank you very much, Minister, for that kind introduction. First and foremost, let me thank you, Premier, for taking the time once again for coming out to Milton. Obviously, this isn't your first time. You've been here many times, and I am absolutely amazed with the excitement within the community. And of course, my colleagues, Minister Clark, Minister Romano, and the two President McClatchy, President Tibbets, and our longest-serving mayor in the country here, Your Worship, Mayor Krantz, and of course Jamie Schlegel from Schlegel Village for taking the time as well. Your Worship, the day has finally come. The Milton Education Village is finally a reality. This has been quite a journey for our community, starting almost 15 years ago with a vision to ensure our young people cannot just live and work in our community, but also have the ability to get post-secondary education and jobs training right here in our community in Milton. This is all thanks to a lot of hard work by a lot of people, so bear with me as I have a long list of people to thank. Premier Ford, thank you first and foremost for being here, and for you have been the biggest champion here for our community in Milton. Without your commitment to our community, this project and others may not have been possible. Minister Clark, thank you for being here and for using the tools at your disposal to get this project moving quickly. I'm proud to serve as the parliamentary assistant and proud to work with you to get projects just like this around our province move quickly. Minister Romano, as you know, I was probably the biggest pain for the last couple of years. and constantly in your face, and thanks for putting up with that and working with me to make this project a reality here today. President McClatchy, you are a true champion for Laurier and now for Milton. What you have been able to bring to Milton with this campus is inspiring and will go on to serve as a beacon in our community for generations. Thank you to your board of directors for making this priority, and a special thank you to Cam Anderson, one of the directors on your board, for his commitment and his contribution for making this project a reality as well. President Tibbet, what can I say? I got to know you through this journey, and I'm proud that Conestoga College will be bringing some of the cutting-edge programs, amazing partnerships, and career-focused learning that Miltonians will benefit for generations to come. John, thank you for your commitment to our community and for your unwavering support in making this project a reality as well. Jamie Schlegel, when I first toured the Schlegel Village in Waterloo, I knew it would be an amazing addition to our town, and the way you integrate a real community feel to your homes make the residents' times very, very special. I know everyone here from Milton looks forward to having one of the best long-term care operators now as part of our community here in Milton. To my fellow Miltonians, this has been a long journey, but it's finally happening, and it's real, and it's here. This vision started long before many of us put roots here in Milton. And some of those people with that initial vision aren't here to celebrate with us, but I think it's important to recognize them. Former president of Laurier, Max Blau, he was one of the only few presidents who initially responded to our town's request for a proposal. And I know the mayor will go through a bit more the history, but I want to thank him for his vision. Someone I didn't have the pleasure of meeting, but I know was instrumental in spearheading the MEV here in Milton, is a man by the name of Mario Belvedere, former CAO of the town of Milton. Your worship, I know he's looking down on this announcement today and smiling ear to ear. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Andrew Sotilla, our current CAO. And I know you were there, Andrew, with Mario at the time, and are here now as we bring this project to a reality. Thank you, Andrew, for everything you do for our community and the town here in Milton. I'm almost done, guys, so just bear with me for a couple more minutes. The community has been pushing and fundraising for a hospice to be located in Milton for many, many years. And we are working to make that happen. One of the challenges that the community has faced is being able to secure a piece of land to build a hospice on. I want everyone to know we're making a tremendous progress on that front as well. And it's all thanks to our partners who are working with me on this, and include, of course, Conestoga College, Schlegel Village, Tom Simperis and his group, and the board of directors from Townsend Smith Foundation. So stay tuned, an announcement is coming. We will get our hospice. Today's announcement is something that all of us can be proud of. Our town made this happen. All of you made this happen. It's an absolute honor for me to be able to represent our amazing community at Queen's Park as part of the provincial government under the leadership of our Premier Doug Ford, each and every single day. We've done a lot together over the past 3 years, and I look forward to watching these campuses, Schlegel Village, hospice, and all of the other wraparound supports rise from the land behind me. Thank you. Now I would like to call on our longest-serving mayor in the country, Your Worship, Mayor Krantz, to come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Parm, and ladies and gentlemen. You might have heard Parm mention there a few words. I don't know really what that means for a moment, but anyway, Parm, thanks very much. On the serious side, ladies and gentlemen, I know it was mentioned about the, Parm being after the ministers all the time. Parm, you'll be equally pleased that I won't be after you as much either as you've been after the ministers. So really it works both ways. So thank you for all the work that you've done. First of all, Premier, thank you again to you and your government. And I know it's just not a one-person show, and I'm well aware of that. We're all in this together. It's referred to as partnerships, and of course, the partnerships have been alluded to already this morning with Laurier, with Conestoga, with Schlegel. And again, Parm, you highlighted, all the other things that's going to go along with that partnership. So thank you very much for that. So it has been a long time coming, and I'm not going to touch on a lot of the past, but I think, Parm, you touched on it. And again, I've often said tongue-in-cheek for the most part, I take all the credit for everything goes well. Somebody else can take all the blame when it doesn't. But seriously, if it hadn't have been for people like Dr. Max Blau and Mario Belvedere, a lot of this probably wouldn't have happened, because they suggested that a well-educated community is a very prosperous community. A well-educated province is a very prosperous province. And hence, I didn't need much convincing that that was the way to go. So I bought into that some 12 or 14 years ago when we started this journey. What you might not know, I signed letters, went out I think to about 60 or 70 universities and colleges back some 15 years or more ago. There was a handful of them that acknowledged it. There was a fewer that said, hey, we could be serious about having a look at it. One of the ones that was really serious about it, in my opinion at the time, was the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I even got invited to go to Las Vegas to have a look what they were doing down there. I didn't go, but they come up here to have a look what we were talking about. One of the more serious individuals was Max Blau. And we were offering free land at that time, Premier, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 or 7 acres that we were going to donate for next to nothing, if not nothing. Max said, well, that's great, but that's not going to be big enough for what we have in mind, what our vision is. And he's not talking about just today or tomorrow. He's talking about 50 or 100 years down the road. He said, we got to get something bigger. Count me in. And hence, here we are today. You can have a look at what, is going to happen in the next year or two. And Minister Clark, thank you very much for fast-tracking a lot of this. You alluded to that. And it will happen, very shortly, and I'm well aware of that. So with that, with me, sometimes you can either get quantity or quality. Now, hopefully a little bit of my remarks was certainly quality instead of quantity here this morning. And I know Parm alluded to he's just about finished, and so am I. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Krantz, Premier Ford, Minister Romano, Minister Clark, and MPP Parm Gill. Thank you for being here today to celebrate this incredible achievement. We would obviously not be here without you. Your unwavering support and confidence in Laurier is truly appreciated as we begin our important work to bring research, innovation, and STEAM programming, that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, to Milton, bringing opportunities to the community and accelerating the social and economic development of the region. I'd also like to thank and recognize Milton Town Council and Mayor Gordon Krantz for their extraordinary support over the years and the generous gift of 103 acres of campus and green space land. Thanks also to our partner Conestoga College and President John Tibbets for your collaboration in Milton and our other host communities. And finally, I would also like to recognize the opportunity we have to work together with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and Chief Stacey LaForme to build a meaningful partnership incorporating Indigenous knowledges and practices on the Milton campus. Laurier shares with the province of Ontario a strong commitment to building thriving communities through post-secondary education, research, innovation, and an entrepreneurial spirit. In Milton, beginning in 2024, Laurier faculty, staff, and students will seek solutions to local and global challenges at the intersection of human and environmental health. Our students will have the opportunity to pursue degree programs and micro-credentials, including environmental and software engineering, health sciences, psychology, climate change management, and other courses as they are added. I look forward to building on the incredible relationships we've established here and working together to build the future of the town of Milton, Halton Region, and the province of Ontario. I would like now to welcome John Tibbets, President of Conestoga College, to say a few words.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dr. McClatchy. And look, for Conestoga, this is a very, very exciting day, and our commitment here is to bring our best to really make a difference here. But I want to start off also by thanking the Premier and our Minister, Romano, and everyone else in Cabinet that was involved. And also the Mayor. I want to thank the Mayor. That vision that was established years ago really set the tone for this event to be able to happen. And also for our ability to obtain land through the city. That was a very, very important. But I have to also, and look, I've been as president almost 34 years, so I've been around a bit too, as has the mayor. And I've worked with a lot of MPPs, and this is not me blowing smoke or anything. I have never in all my life seen an MPP get into the bit here. Honestly, calling me in the, I mean, from our point of view, I really don't think this would have happened without MPP Parm Gill. And I want to thank you, Parm. Really did appreciate it, and I really mean that. And I know I've said that to you before. I've never seen anything like it. The passion, the determination, never letting go, et cetera, et cetera. We're also, I'm not following the script, by the way, just so you know that. We're also excited to bring our strengths, and we are a different institution. Laurier is a university. We don't use the term officially in Ontario Polytech, but we're an applied learning institution. We're one of 4 ITELs, Institutes of Technology. We offer a full range of programming. So the two institutions together will basically be able to meet the needs of the whole workforce, because we deal with all 4 levels of the socioeconomic status group, all 4, and we're also involved in applied research. But if you look at what we're doing in the KW area, 50% of the workforce in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and Guelph has taken a course at the college. That's pretty substantial. We're really embedded. And what I'm saying to the mayor here, we'll bring our best here. We're going to make a difference, because this is a really great community, comprehensive economy, a visionary people. And I think what you need here is 2 institutions that are going to help everyone be the best they can be, including helping employers meet their needs. We know going forward there's a declining birth rates in Canada. We're going to have to educate more people up to a higher level. I mean, certainly the pandemic has accelerated digital transformation. We want to be part of that. We want to make a difference. I also want to, I see James Schlegel back there. That's another example of our involvement. We have a partnership with the Schlegels in Guelph. We have a partnership in Waterloo. We're going to have one soon in Kitchener, and we look forward here, because in this long-term care facility, what we're going to have is we're going to embed in there training facilities that will train hundreds of PSWs, RPNs, nurses, etc. That's what's really needed, and they're going to be in an environment where there will be no problem finding placements, correct? Because they're going to be right in the home. So we see this as a pan-Ontario thing eventually, but we're looking forward to that. And Parm, we have made a commitment that we will put aside some land for that hospice, because I think the model they're using is the model we have on our campus. We have a hospice on our campus. We offered the land for $1, I think, a year, etc. With this hospice. I think your hospice people came up and looked at it. I think I can say, I can't promise because I'm not in a position to promise, but we are fully committed to ensuring you have a hospice. So you have a long-term care facility we'll have a college, a university, and a hospice. We're really proud to be here, and I want you to know we'll do everything to help make this even a stronger community. So thank you very much, everyone who's been a key part in allowing us to become part of your community. Thank you.
We'll now take some questions from the media, one at a time from the microphone. It'll be one question and one follow-up. The first question is from Melissa from Your TV.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I wanted to ask a question about the economy. Usually universities that come into a community affects the local economy, so I wanted just to get a sense of what that impact will be for the town of Milton and Halton region.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and thank you for the question, it's going to be a great impact on the economy when you bring the likes of the long-term care home, the Schlegels, and along with the great university and a great college. It's going to be amazing. I just want to remind everyone, our economy was booming before this pandemic, and we're going to be booming again. I'll never forget calling the Prime Minister saying we're short 250,000 people to fill the job, skilled and unskilled. The colleges and universities, as both doctors mentioned, they're going to get them skilled workforce, and it's going to be cream of the crop right here in Milton. And it's going to be exciting. Milton's just a beautiful home. Another full disclosure, my daughter lives here, so I even love it more. So I get to come and pay her a visit. But that's just a beautiful up-and-coming area.
And just a quick follow-up in terms of scheduling, we heard that they're talking about starting to the education process in 2024. When will shovels be in the ground?
Well, I'm going to have to ask someone else when the shovels are going to be in the ground ASAP. Spring? And we'll keep going. But here's another example I want to emphasize about this MZO. You cut through the red tape, the regulations, you get always approval from the municipalities with the mayor and the council. They approve it, then we move on it. And we can't be waiting around for all the regs and red tape. We want to get shovels in the ground, not only here for the colleges and universities and long-term care hospitals and schools, but we also want to do it for housing as well. Everyone out there, the prices of the housing is just going through the roof. And by the way, all you lumber companies that are jacking up the price, you guys got to get it together because it's out of control right now. And the steel companies is jacking up the price, but we got to hold you guys accountable as well. But we want affordable housing, and I know Mayor Krantz, you've been a big proponent of getting housing, affordable housing here for the great residents of Milton.
The next question is from Cameron from MyFM.
Hi, Cameron. How you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Good.
So as MPP Gill mentioned, this has been in the works for, I believe you said 15 years.
Yes.
But as a lot of Milton residents can remember, this was, I guess, put on hold or canceled back in October of 2018. And I was wondering how this announcement compares, or maybe what has changed compared to what was put on hold back in October of 2018.
Well, it's everyone working together, and as the mayor and everyone else mentioned, Dr. Tibbets as well, Parm Gill's like a dog on a bone. Man, he latches on, and he doesn't stop. He'd be calling me, calling the ministers, calling everyone, and he works in collaboration with the municipality and the mayor and the college and the university and the long-term care home, and all of them get the credit. This is what happens when you collaborate, you work together on all different levels. You have great projects like this, and this is just going to be one of the best projects I've seen in a long time, especially that campus of care per se for long-term care as well.
The introduction of the possible hospice.
Yes.
I know Townsend Smith Foundation has been working very hard to bring a hospice here to Milton and North Halton especially. How important is that introduction of that facility into this plan?
It's so important, and the province will back it 100%, and we'll be working with Parm and the other folks involved in it, and the colleges and universities. It's absolutely critical, and that goes back to the campus of care theory again. But this is really exciting, and look back there. We come back in a few years, it's going to look totally different. It's great.
Next question's from Jamie from City TV.
Hey, Jamie.
Hi, Mr. Premier. Mr. Premier, this question comes from Cynthia.
Yep.
Have you had any recommendations from the science table? Are you going to be asking about any recommendations from the science table to move forward into phase 2? or a faster opening?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be sitting down with the health table and the science table. I've always said from day one I'm not wavering, and I know he'll be leaving us in another week or so, but I'll be talking to Dr. Williams. I just want to tell the people of Ontario, there's no one wants to open this economy more than I do. I just want to make sure we do it cautiously. I want to get the stamp of approval from all the docs, and we're going to be well on our way. And I gotta give a quick shout out to all the frontline healthcare workers, and what they're doing is nothing less than amazing on these vaccinations. Hit another record, over 200,000 yesterday, and it's just incredible to see how they're doing it right across the province. The numbers are staggering what they're doing right now, so it's good news.
With 370, the numbers at 370 today, take away a few hot spots, it's a lot. It's very low. And this question comes from Cynthia. I want to make that clear. Is there any consideration to loosening restrictions on low-risk businesses, nail, hair salons, personal grooming, places where they can control and make sure that infection doesn't spread?
So we're going to sit down with the health table and Dr. Williams and just get his guidance. I'm pushing them. I think everyone's pushing them. When it comes to the hairdressers, folks, hang in there. We're going to get there as soon as possible. And Jamie, you talk about the nails and manicures, pedicures. I have 5 women in my house. Well, not my house, but 5 women that are on to me. They're lobbying me hard. So are these manicures, pedicures, and everything else that they get done.
Is that going to have to go through cabinet too?
I'm sorry?
Would it have to go through cabinet and cabinet?
It would have to go through cabinet.
So the earliest we're looking at is Friday, late.
Well, let's. I don't want to put any dates on it. I do have to sit down with Dr. Williams and the health table. I know discussions are going on right now, but folks, I just can't wait. I can't wait to move forward. And all the people of Ontario, you're doing great. You went out, you got vaccinated, and each and every one of you deserve all the credit, and the healthcare workers. You look at our numbers compared to anywhere in the world, because of the people of Ontario, not because of Doug Ford, because of the people of Ontario that made this happen.
And we have an outbreak in the far north. How is the province helping these people in the far north that are dealing with COVID?
So without the remote immunity, stage 2, if you want to call it, and Dr. Tian from Orange did an incredible job. I know he's back up there, and we're going to make sure we get all the young people vaccinated. Anyone that missed their vaccination, I encourage you, please, when Orange comes into town per se, get a vaccination. It's absolutely critical. There's still a couple hot spots there, and Waterloo too. We're sending resources into Waterloo, and they're going to get through this.
Next question's from Sean from CTV, and again, it's one question, one follow-up.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good.
This is actually from Nicole at CKCO in
Yeah.
Kitchener. And the question is, CKCO in Kitchener was told last night you had talks with local officials in Kitchener-Waterloo that they're at the risk of not entering stage 2, and even step 1 is in question. What is your reaction to what's happening in Kitchener-Waterloo?
Yeah, so I left a message for both, actually, the chair and the mayor of Kitchener this morning as well. I know our Solicitor General spoke to the chair yesterday, but it's all hands on deck there. Now, keep in mind, folks, 85%, what I'm hearing, the cases are from people that did not get vaccinated. And that puts everyone else in jeopardy. I've always said from day one, I wouldn't force vaccinations on anyone, but I've been encouraging everyone every step of the day, 100%. Get vaccinated, because now it affects the whole KW area, and it's just not fair to the other people. So get vaccinated. We're throwing more resources into the KW area, and this is going to be up to the local medical officer of health, which has been doing a great job out there, to determine if they move forward or not. But I can tell you one thing, the rest of the province is moving forward.
This is also Kitchener-Waterloo related.
Yep.
Peel and Toronto were able to get vaccines ASAP early on in the rollout because they were hotspots. Folks here in Waterloo feel we've been gypped because your government is just now sending us extra doses. Why didn't you act sooner? Will you divert vaccines from elsewhere to Kitchener-Waterloo?
Yeah, so I have to totally disagree on getting gypped or whatever. There is a limited amount of vaccines. When there's a hot spot, everyone knew, when we had to put them into Toronto and Peel, and now Kitchener-Waterloo, it affects the rest of the province. People traveling from Peel out somewhere else. So we're putting the resources into Kitchener-Waterloo, and we've put a lot of resources in there. So we want to help the people in the homeless shelters. That's where the big outbreak is. So just want to get those people vaccinated too, and we're going to be well on our way with this. And this is exciting. It really is. Everyone's had it. We want to get out there and get the economy moving now.
Okay. So. This is the last question from Jessica from QP Briefing.
Hey, Jessica, how you doing?
Hi, thanks so much for taking my question.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'd like to ask you about your decision to use the notwithstanding clause to reimpose your restrictions on third-party advertising.
Yeah.
In particular, what do you say to your critics who say you shouldn't take that extraordinary step of abridging people's rights identified by the court in order to do something that gives you a political advantage in the next election?
Yeah, no, that's not the case. It's what we have to have is a fair and democratic elections. So I'm just going to say this once because that's passed. We're moving forward. I'll say it once. Every single person I've talked to, every person, even if people disagree after I talk to them, I ask the people of Ontario, do you want billionaires? Do you want special interest groups? Do you want big corporations and special interest groups to dictate elections? So someone from around the world, a billionaire, could come in, dump $20 to $30 million into an election, no accountability, no regulations, no nothing, and try to sway elections. And I know all parties. I know the NDP, the Liberals, the PCs have always said they don't want third-party advertising. Right now, after that decision, it was the Wild West. It's unbelievable. So billionaires can influence elections. So if you want U.S.-style politics, no one I've talked to wants U.S.-style politics. No one wants billionaires trying to influence elections and buy up all the ad space. No one wants big corporations that are making tons of money and trying to influence elections. There isn't one single person that I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people that want it. So this is done. We're moving forward. We're going to have democratic elections, and the people that are going to decide who's the next government are the people of Ontario. No one else, not special interests, not anything. So folks, next June, you're going to decide. Do you want the province to move forward and we'll keep governing? Or do you want it to go back the way it was for 15 years that destroyed our province? I can tell you, we want to move forward. So that's my answer on that one.
Thanks, Premier. For my follow-up, I'd like to push back on that a little bit. We looked through all of the third-party advertising from the last election, and it showed overwhelmingly the big budget third parties were mostly union funded. And in fact, 93% of the spending by the big budget groups favored the NDP, in that it explicitly boosted their campaign or was negative against you or negative against the Liberals. Does that surprise you? Change your mind?
Yeah, well, look what happened, too. We ended up winning. But in saying that, I'm not going to have a U.S. election up here. I'm not going to have billionaires influencing the election. I'm not going to have big corporations and special interests. The people of Ontario will decide who they want in government. That's a true democracy, and that's what we're going to do. So thank you, everyone. And this is a great day. We're going to have a great few weeks moving forward. And let's stay focused. And please, if you haven't ended up getting a vaccination, please get one. And more vaccines are on their way. So thank you, everyone. And congratulations to folks in Milton. Thank you.
Thank you.